I'm a con bride. A hard-working farmer spent $45,000 on a bride price to marry me. On the fifth night after the wedding, I got a message from my crew. Retreat. In the middle of the night, I packed up all the gold, jewelry, and cash, ready to escape. But the moment I opened the door, there he was. My husband, holding a gun. The dark barrel was pointed straight at my forehead. "Honey," his voice was cold and low, "where are you going at this hour?" I sat on the edge of the bed, wiping my tears. He sat at the other end, calmly cleaning his gun. "My sister's sick," I said while crying. "I need to go home to visit her. I'll be back soon." He polished the gun till it gleamed, then spoke, voice indifferent. "From now on, I'll ask you questions. Every time you lie, I'll shoot. Don't worry, I won't hit anything vital. You won't die." I looked at the man in front of me. Sharp features, icy stare, emotionless expression. There was nothing about him that resembled a simple farmer. "First question, what's your real name?" "Li Hua," I blurted out my fake name. He raised the gun again, eyes narrowing. I backed away in fear. "Mackenzie Fields. My name is Mackenzie Fields. Where's your crew? What crew?" Click, he took off the safety. One bullet was ready to fly at any moment. "Don't kill me! Please don't!" I collapsed to the floor, hugging my head, spilling everything without leaving out a single detail. "We're a scam ring. We target rural American men who have trouble finding wives. They pay a bride price. I show up, pretend to be their wife. Then, within a few days, I disappear. They lose the money and the woman. Then we find the next victim. Our boss is Troy Harrison. He's a ruthless criminal. Murder, robbery, you name it. Please, I know you want your $45,000 back, but I don't have it. Troy's got it all. I can't give it back to you." "I don't care about the $45,000, he said calmly. "I want your boss's life." I stared at him in shock. "Come on. All he did was scam you. Is that really necessary?" He let out a cold snort. "This isn't the first time you've come to our town pretending to be someone's wife, is it?" I thought for a moment. 3 years ago, a man paid $1,500,000 to marry me. And then? On the third day after the wedding, I got the signal to flee, so I ran. Do you remember that man's name? I can't recall. His name was Logan Rivera. Orphaned young, started working at a factory when he was 18, saved up for years to get $1.5 million, just to have a wife and a peaceful life. And in the end, you ran into people like you, vultures who tear flesh and never let go of the bones. Logan Rivera, and you, your last name is Rivera too. Are you too? He was my younger brother, the man said, a trace of grief in his voice. His wife ran off. His money was gone. He couldn't handle the shock. He drank pesticide and took his own life. Oh my God. I was so stunned my face turned pale. That's not possible. It can't be. A cold glint flashed in the man's eyes as he stepped forward, bent down, and pressed the muzzle of his gun against my forehead. One by one, I'll send all of you to hell to bring peace to my brother's soul. In that moment, everything became clear to me. Logan, you contacted us on purpose, didn't you? You used the $45,000 bride price as bait to lure us here, right? We've never seen a single farmer pay that kind of money before. The greed blinded us, and we walked straight into your trap. Logan, listen to me. You're just a farmer. You can't take on Troy Harrison. Don't throw your life away like this, okay? I unzipped the backpack strapped to me, took out all the gold and jewelry, and laid it in front of him. Take it. It's all yours. I'm sorry. I can't give you back the full $45,000. He used the barrel of the gun to lift my chin. If you can't return the bride price, then you still belong to me. Figure out a way to help me kill Troy Harrison. Otherwise, this bullet is going straight down your throat. I fell silent, my mind racing like a spinning top. Logan, I'll help you, but I have one condition. You still dare to make conditions with me? Ah, If you really kill Troy Harrison, then marry me for real. I won't run this time. I swear, these past years, I've been bought and sold like a piece of property. I'm tired. I want to settle down. I want a home." He gave no expression, no nod, no shake of the head. I continued, voice trembling. "Is it because I've been passed around so many times? Don't worry, I never slept with any of them. Every wedding night, I'd lie and say I was on my period. I told them to wait a few days. That's how I tricked them. I was going to do the same to you, but you didn't even bother stepping into the room on our wedding night." "Because the sight of you disgusted me," he said flatly, the words stabbing right through my chest. I clenched my arms, lowered my voice. "They implanted a chip in me. They can track my location in real time. They just sent a retreat signal. If I don't move soon, they'll get suspicious. The extraction team will flee. You need to let me go now." He pulled something from his pocket, a gold ring inlaid with a vivid red ruby. He slid it onto the ring finger of my left hand. "There's a tracker inside this ring. You better not take it off. If that signal disappears, I'll hunt you down to the ends of the earth." "I won't take it off. You have my word." "Tell your crew this," he said. 5 days from now, I'll come to your house with $30,000, begging you to come back as my wife. Make sure Troy Harrison and the whole gang are there. I want to take them all down in one move." He stood up and kicked me. "Get out!" At the door, I turned back. You're not really a farmer, are you?" "I'm a retired Special Forces soldier. Spent a few years as a mercenary in the Middle East. But what I really enjoy is farming." I shivered. This was too dangerous. I'd accidentally tried to scam a mercenary. I had to get out fast. Outside, my crew was already anxious. "Mackenzie, what happened? Were you exposed?" asked Ace. "No," I replied. "That idiot got up to use the bathroom and caught me packing up to leave. He's so infatuated he wants to follow me back to visit my sick sister. He even offered $30,000 for her treatment, as long as I promised to come back with him." "Wow," Ace laughed. "You're really not going to take that deal?" "Of course I am," I smirked. "We agreed. 5 days from now, we meet in Charleston. Then what? We rob the $30,000 and take him out for good." I raised my hand and looked at the gold ring on my finger. In my mind, I saw his cold, sharp face again, so composed, so lethal. 5 days later, I waited for Logan Rivera in downtown Charleston. He was dressed head to toe in black, with a cap, sunglasses, and a killing aura like a messenger from hell. "Tonight at the Mocha Lounge," I told him. "Troy Harrison will be drinking there. The entire crew will be present." "Got it. Can you identify Troy Harrison for me?" "Scar on his left cheek, wearing a white shirt, buzz cut. You'll recognize him immediately." "Any civilians in the mix?" "I'm not killing innocent people." "No outsiders. I'll make sure of it. But please don't kill me." He gave me a cold glance. "Depends on my mood." The sun set. Neon lights lit up the streets. Inside the Mocha Lounge, liquor flowed and laughter filled the air. The club glowed in excessive, artificial glamour. I sat quietly in a corner, watching the crew drink and toast without a care in the world. Business had been booming. Money came in faster than we could count. But who knew how many poor rural men across America had been left bankrupt and broken? I glanced at my watch. 11:59 p.m. "Ace!" I called out. "You look sharp tonight. Sit in the middle. I'll take a photo." He straightened his suit and posed with both arms around 2 girls from our group. Suddenly, the door burst open. A man in black, masked, stormed in. Before anyone could react, his bullets pierced through foreheads with brutal precision. After confirming the kills, he fired several more shots into Ace's chest and turned to leave. I ran after him. Outside, he jumped on a motorcycle. I grabbed his coat and climbed onto the back seat. "Gee, don't think you can shake me that easily." The motorcycle sped like lightning. I clung tightly to his waist. His abs were as solid as steel. He stopped at the riverside on the outskirts of Charleston. "Go," Logan said coldly. "We're even now. My whole crew's dead. I have no home to go back to. You're my man now. I'm not leaving you," I said, hugging him tighter. And yes, his abs really were rock solid. "You're the reason my brother died. How could I possibly keep you around?" I didn't hurt him. I swear I didn't. He turned around, the muzzle of his gun once again pressed against my forehead. "Talk. You have 5 minutes to convince me you didn't hurt my brother. If you fail, this last bullet's yours." Logan Rivera. He was a quiet gentleman, handsome in his own rugged way. The first time I saw him, I couldn't take my eyes off his left hand. He'd lost 4 fingers. The $15,000 he gave me as a bride price wasn't from savings. It was a compensation payout from a factory accident. That $15,000, it cost him his future. I once told Troy Harrison, "We shouldn't do this one. I can't live with myself anymore." He beat me and said, "People like us don't deserve to have a conscience." On the wedding night, with Logan, I told him the truth. "You've been scammed. I'm not your wife. I'll be gone soon." But that gentle man said something I'll never forget. "I know. I figured it out. You've probably been forced into this, sold off to man after man. How have you endured it all?" "Look," he said, "I paid $15,000 for you. So don't go back. America's a big country. We'll go somewhere new, start over. I'll treat you right." My eyes filled with tears. I lowered my head, gently twisting the red wedding gown in my hands. "They planted a tracker in me. They can locate me anytime. There's no escape. Then we'll go to a hospital and have it removed. If we do, my family back home, they'll pay the price." Logan went silent for a moment, then said, "I have an older brother. He's powerful. Maybe he can help us." "Logan, I don't get it. Why are you being so kind to me? I lied to you. Why would you want to save me?" He looked at me, his eyes clear and honest, like I'd never seen in anyone before. "My mom gave birth to 2 daughters before me," he said softly. "My father, he took them into the mountains and left them for the wild animals. Then she gave birth to me. Only then did she finally earn a place in that house. Later, she had my little sister, the sweetest kid you'd ever meet. We were inseparable growing up. Anyone who bullied her, I fought them. Once, my father beat her, and I grabbed a kitchen knife and went at him with everything I had." At that point, Logan's eyes were already glistening with tears. "But I still couldn't protect her," Logan said. "When she was 4, Grandma took her to the farmer's market, but only Grandma came back. She said my sister got lost, and no one in the family ever tried to find her. They just let a living, breathing child disappear. When I saw you, I thought of my sister. If she ended up in the hands of criminals, maybe she was passed around, just like you." His voice cracked. My heart ached. My eyes burned with tears. "Now, everyone in my family is gone," I said softly. "I think it's karma for what they did to those girls, God's punishment. I'm the only one left. No goals, no joy. What's the point of living anymore?" Tears streamed down his face. His eyes looked hollow. But even with everything he said, I knew I still had to leave. For my life, and for his safety. What I didn't expect was that he would take his own life. Later, I told Logan Rivera, "That man, he was suffering, too tragic for words. But none of this was our fault. His own family killed his sisters. They left him alone, dirt poor. In the end, even to get married, he had to resort to a scam bride, only to be robbed of both his money and his heart. So tell me, whose fault was it really?" Logan remained silent for a long time. "That kid," he finally said, "his last name wasn't Rivera. It was Dawson. His parents died when he was in middle school. He followed me around, started calling me brother. Eventually, he changed his name to Rivera. He said he didn't want to carry the Dawson name anymore. He wanted that family line to end. Damn, what a tragedy." I wiped my tears with a tissue. Logan gave me a sideways glare. Save your crocodile tears. You've scammed so many people, and now you talk about conscience? I sniffed and looked at him seriously. I don't feel guilty for scamming those men. Why do you think they're single? The women who were meant to be their wives. Most were never even born or died as infants. Their bones are buried deep in the ground. And who caused that? Cause and effect. I only have 2 words for them. Deserved it. Logan let out a laugh. You know what? You're not entirely wrong. Logan, I said with a grin, come with me to Myanmar. Let's do business together. I've got capital. You've got skills. We'd be a golden pair. No, he said firmly. There's one thing I have to do first. I made a promise to Logan Dawson. I told him I'd help him find his sister, the little girl who vanished when she was 4, sold off by their grandmother. I can help you, I offered. I followed Troy Harrison for years. Whether it's here or in Myanmar, I have contacts and informants. I can find her. You can really find her? If I help you find her, will you come to Myanmar with me and start over? Deal. The next day, I started digging. Logan gave me a sketch, a portrait of the girl, drawn from memory by Logan Dawson. The poor child didn't even leave behind a single photo. Logan asked, How are you so sure that Hannah Dawson was trafficked into Myanmar? Because your hometown is right near the Myanmar border, I said. Domestic trafficking is heavily monitored by police, but if she was smuggled across into Myanmar, the chances of finding her are slim, and so is getting justice. There are certain traffickers who specialize in buying young girls from the US-China border regions. They either force them into brothels or raise them to become fake brides who scam American men for money. These girls speak fluent Chinese and look ethnically Chinese, so they're easier to pass off and sell. If Hannah Dawson is still alive, she's likely on one of those 2 paths. Logan gave me a cold, piercing look. What about you? Why were you trafficked to Myanmar? Were you kidnapped too? I avoided his gaze. I don't remember. Days passed with little progress. No leads, no results. One hot and humid afternoon, I was asking around in a slum alley when suddenly, I felt cold steel at my throat. A dagger pressed tight against my neck. A raspy voice growled behind me. Mackenzie, long time no see. You've gotten prettier. It was Derek Lynn, one of my old enemies, a notorious warlord in this region. He dragged me into a rundown shack and threw me onto the bed. Peeling off his shirt, he revealed a body packed with muscle and covered in grotesque snake and dragon tattoos. I crawled backward, panicked. Don't touch me! My people are on their way! They'll blow your damn head off! He grinned wickedly, climbing onto the bed, gripping my wrists. Word is your entire crew's been wiped out. So tell me, who the hell's gonna save you now? Let go of me! Let go, you scumbag! I screamed in despair. He pinned me down. I couldn't breathe. Fabric tore. His breaths were heavy. I sobbed and begged through choking tears. Suddenly, bang! The door burst open, gunfire. The man on top of me stopped moving, lifeless. Logan Rivera stormed in. He shoved Derek's body aside and threw his jacket over me. His hand brushed gently over my face. Are you all right? He asked softly. I stared at him, dazed, then suddenly threw my arms around him and kissed him. At first, he didn't respond. His lips were cold and still, but then he held me tight and kissed me back, fiercely, hungrily, like dry kindling catching fire, right there beside Derek's corpse, in that suffocating heat. We made love. It was raw and strange, both painful and beautiful. You were a virgin? Logan asked, stunned. I smiled through my tears, which soaked the strands of hair near my temples. He lowered his head and kissed my wet eyes. Later, I rode on the back of his motorcycle, my arms wrapped around his waist. I rested my head on his back, my fingers brushing the steel-like ridges of his abs. Under the golden glow of the setting sun, he drove us through the winding streets. We sat beneath a tree. I leaned on his shoulder. This feels perfect, I whispered, You finally let me rest on your shoulder. If it gets too dangerous, maybe we stop the search, he murmured. Are you starting to worry about me? I teased with a smile. Don't flatter yourself, Logan replied. I'm serious. I just don't want to keep cleaning up your messes. You've got a lot of enemies. But I made a promise to you, and I intend to keep it. Give me more time. No matter what it takes, I will find Hannah Dawson. So I kept digging for leads on Hannah. Sometimes Logan was with me. Sometimes he disappeared. He clearly had secrets of his own, but he never said, and I never asked. By day, we went our separate ways. By night, we came together, burning in each other's arms, lost in waves of hunger and desire. After 2 months of searching, I uncovered more disturbing leads. The deeper I dug, the colder I felt. It was highly likely Hannah had been trafficked into the red light district of the city and later sold to MK Lounge, where the buyer was none other than Troy Harrison. Under Troy, I wasn't the only fake bride. He had trained dozens of girls to become scam wives, specifically targeting rural American men who couldn't find spouses. Hannah Dawson might have been one of those girls. That meant one of two things. Either she was still in China, trapped with another buyer, and hadn't escaped yet, or she was still being held captive at Troy Harrison's base, MK Lounge. The second scenario was far more likely. But then I remembered. Logan had wiped out MK Lounge that night. What if Hannah was there? What if she died in the crossfire? Should I tell Logan the truth? I was still torn when I received a phone call from Julian Sam, one of Troy Harrison's former business partners. I've got a major deal, he said, and I want you in on it. At first, I planned to turn him down. I'd said goodbye to that world. But the truth was, I needed money, fast. Not just for myself, but for what was coming. So I agreed. We scheduled a meeting. The next morning, I woke up to find Logan still asleep beside me. His brow was slightly furrowed, lashes trembling. He didn't sleep well. I leaned down and kissed his forehead. He opened his eyes, deep and dark like obsidian, reflecting my image in their stillness. He kissed me gently. "What's your plan today?" he asked in his deep, calm voice. Of course, I couldn't tell him I was meeting one of Troy Harrison's partners, so I lied. "I'm heading to the slums to dig for more leads on Hannah. She might have been sold there." "What about you?" I asked, brushing my fingers along his face. "I'm going to kill someone," he said casually. "Make me another egg, would you? Killing takes energy." We ate breakfast and hugged goodbye. He went east, I went west. At the bridge, a sleek black Lincoln was waiting for me. I got in. Julian Sam and I hit it off quickly in conversation. After we wrapped up business, he reached out and placed his hand gently over mine. "Ms. Lee," he said softly, "I really like you. If we got together, you and I gently pulled my hand away and smiled. "Strictly business. That's better for both of us." Julian Sam nodded, then added, "I'll help you investigate who carried out the MK Lounge massacre." "If you hear anything, let me know," I replied. He invited me to dinner, but I declined. I have to get home and cook for Logan. He's probably tired from killing someone today. As I left the building, security surrounded me, forming a tight ring of protection. Still, I couldn't shake the feeling. Someone sharp was watching me from the shadows. When I got home, Logan wasn't back yet. I put on an apron and began cooking. Over the past 2 months, I'd slowly started to feel what a home was like. I wanted this forever, just cooking for the man I love. And someday, I wanted to have a daughter. I've always liked girls. I'd raise her well. I waited a long time. The food had gone cold by the time Logan returned. He looked exhausted, worn to the bone. He didn't look at me, didn't say a word. He quietly walked into the bathroom. He washed his hands for a long, long time. Was it blood? When he came out, he sat across from me at the table. I stood up. "The food's cold. Let me heat it up." "Sit." Only then did I notice it. A black pistol barrel sticking out from beneath the table. pointed straight at me, held by Logan. "Today, I killed some of Troy Harrison's men," he said calmly. "I'd been lying in wait all day. Finally, I had them in my sights. But guess who I saw through the scope? You. You were the target. I had a perfect shot, but when I pulled the trigger, my hand hesitated. So I came back to ask you one thing. Are you still hiding something from me?" He stared at me, his obsidian eyes cold and sharp, cutting straight through me. I answered quietly, "What if I told you I am Troy Harrison?" His pupils trembled. Then I told him everything. Troy Harrison had once been my foster father. When he died, I took over. I became the new Troy Harrison. Then who was the man in the white suit, with the scar and the buzz cut, that I killed at MK Lounge? That was Ace. He was one of mine. I didn't want to keep doing the bride trafficking. I didn't want to share profits anymore. So I used your gun, to silence the others. At first, I didn't expect much from you, but your massacre at MK Lounge was flawless. That's when I knew. If I could tame this dragon, my black market empire in Myanmar would soar. Logan burst into a chilling laugh, then suddenly roared in fury, flipping the table. Plates shattered, food scattered across the floor. So did my dreams. The muzzle of his gun pressed cold against my temple. I could feel the violent aura radiating off him. "I'm pregnant," I said softly. The barrel of the gun trembled slightly. "What did you say?" he asked, stunned, suspicion lacing his voice. I placed a hand over my lower abdomen. "The doctor said I'm 8 weeks along. It might have been from our first time." I smiled gently. "And it's a girl." "I don't believe you," he snapped. "You're a liar." I chuckled. "Then go ahead, shoot me, cut me open, see for yourself if I lied." "You're insane. You think I won't do it?" Suddenly, a wave of sorrow rose in my chest. Women always know whether a man truly loves them or not. And I knew he probably didn't. He was just a cold-blooded killer, a machine built for violence. I closed my eyes, took a shaky breath. Boom! A deafening explosion shattered the windows. Almost simultaneously, Logan tackled me to the ground. Bullets rained in like a storm. The flipped table from earlier became our only shield. Logan wrapped his arms around me tightly. My mind went blank. Moments later, silence. I reached beside me and picked up a shell casing. "Julian Sam," I murmured. "Did he come for me? Or for you?" Logan asked. "You, for sure." "You need to go out the back. I'll handle this." "No," I said quickly. "You're the one who can escape. Let me deal with Julian. He won't kill me. I still have value to him." Logan hesitated. "Don't waste time. Only one of us makes it out of here alive. If you stay, we both die." I pulled a lotus-embroidered pouch from inside my shirt. "This has the access codes to my gold reserves in GS Bank. Take it. If you don't, Julian will get his hands on it eventually." I shoved the pouch into his hand. "Now go." He looked at me with an intense gaze and whispered, "I'll come back for you." I raised both hands over my head and stepped out of the house. Julian stood waiting, smirking coldly. I traced the MK Lounge massacre here, but imagine my surprise, finding you and that man playing house like newlyweds. So it's clear now. The massacre was a joint effort, wasn't it? Mackenzie Lee, you're something else. Willing to kill your whole crew just to keep all the money for yourself. I answered wearily. Crew? They were just business partners. I risked my life alone, scamming poor men across rural America. Why should I split anything with them? Julian sneered. Troy Harrison treated me well. Before he died, he told me to take care of you. Of course, Julian Sam continued. He also told me that if you ever betrayed him, I had permission to take you out. But if you hand over all the money, I'll take good care of you. No need for things to get ugly. I spread my arms wide, sneering. I'm still alive, but I don't have a single dollar. And you know what? I leaned in close to his ear and whispered coldly, "I'm the one who poisoned Troy Harrison." His eyes turned ice cold. "You vicious bitch." I was dragged to one of his hideouts, shoved into a pitch-black steel cell. The space was barely a meter wide. I couldn't even lie down straight. No windows, no light, just total, suffocating darkness. I curled up in the corner, eyes open or closed. It was all the same. Endless black. Old buried memories rose from the depths of my mind like sewage from a broken pipe. When I was very young, I'd once been locked in a room just like this because I cried and begged to go home. They locked me up for 7 days. By the time the door finally opened, I was covered in my own filth, barely breathing. A man stood at the entrance. "Do you still want to go home?" "No." "Do you remember who you are?" "No." "From now on, your name is Mackenzie Lee. Troy Harrison is your father, understand?" "Yes." The door creaked open. I lifted my hand to shield my eyes from the blinding light. Julian's voice rang out. "Mackenzie Lee, I'll ask one last time. Where's the money, and where's the man?" "Kill me," he sneered. "Kill you? That would be too easy. I'm going to sell you to some farmer deep in rural America, and this time it's for real. No one will save you. You'll spend the rest of your life giving birth and raising kids for some backwoods hick." Then he added, "But the buyer doesn't want a pregnant bride. So I'll have the nurse take care of that. One injection, and that bastard child of yours will be gone." "Julian Sam," I hissed through clenched teeth. "If you touch my baby, I swear I'll kill you myself." He leaned in close, whispering in my ear, "I want the money. And I want that man's location. Otherwise, die." Julian patted my cheek and sighed. "Mackenzie, I didn't want it to come to this." He whistled once. 2 large bodyguards came in and pinned me down. A female nurse pulled a large syringe from her medical bag, filled with a clear liquid. I glared at Julian with burning hatred. "Julian Sam, I will kill you!" The needle stabbed into my body. My whole body trembled. Tears streamed down uncontrollably. When it was over, they walked out. The steel door slammed shut. Darkness swallowed me again, and in that deathly silence, I felt my daughter, my baby girl, slowly being poisoned inside me. A sharp pain twisted in my lower belly. She was struggling. One last time. I writhed in agony across the floor. Blood gushed uncontrollably from between my legs. "I'm sorry, my daughter. Mommy couldn't protect you." I broke down, sobbing. My own mother once tried to protect her daughter too, but she was powerless. And I thought, naively, that I was strong enough to protect mine. In the end, I was just as helpless. 2 days later, the iron door opened. I lay there in a pool of blood, barely breathing. They tied up my wrists and ankles, dragged me out, and threw me into the trunk of a car. Julian Sam leaned over, looking at me coldly. "You brought this on yourself," he said before slamming the trunk shut. The car started moving. I fought to loosen the bindings around my wrists. About 2 hours in, I could tell from the jarring bumps we were entering a border zone, probably somewhere near the outskirts of El Paso. I freed my hands and began working on the ropes around my feet. Suddenly, boom! A massive explosion shook the car. The vehicle jerked violently, twice. "Shit! It's an ambush!" I heard the driver scream. Gunfire erupted like a monsoon, screams, shouts. It was chaos. Then, after about 10 minutes, silence. The trunk popped open, sunlight flooded in, blinding me until my eyes adjusted. And there he was, Logan Rivera, that cold, determined face filled with longing. "Logan!" I gave him a weak, teary smile. "You really are something else." He lifted me out of the trunk, but his expression changed the moment he noticed the blood staining my pants. He understood immediately. "Can you stand?" he asked. "Yeah." But the moment my feet touched the ground, my knees gave out. He caught me instantly. "Mackenzie, easy!" I leaned into him, trying to steady myself. That's when I remembered. I had once told him my name was Mackenzie Fields, just a name I made up on the spot. Logan, I was tied up for too long. My legs are numb. I'll be fine in a bit. Can you hold me for a second? Of course. And with that, I wrapped my arms tightly around him, pressing my weight into his chest. He didn't push me away. Instead, he held me even tighter. Logan. I found Hannah Dawson, I whispered, my voice hoarse. You did? He asked calmly, as always, never showing too much emotion, always measured. It's me. I am Hannah Dawson. He stared at me, stunned, unable to speak. When I was 4, my grandmother took me to the market. She sold me to traffickers. They smuggled me across the border into Myanmar and sold me to Troy Harrison. I cried. I fought back. I refused to listen. So they locked me in a pitch-black room for 7 days. When I came out, my memories were fractured. They brainwashed me. Over time, I forgot my real name, forgot who I was, forgot where home was. Tears poured down my face as I gave a bitter, broken smile. Maybe forgetting was a blessing, I whispered. That old home wasn't worth remembering anyway. Then how did you remember everything? Logan asked gently. Being locked up in that dark room again, it triggered everything. The memories came flooding back. I looked into his eyes and choked out the words. Logan, I'm sorry. Our daughter, she's gone. I really, really wanted to have a little girl. I wanted to love her like a princess. I broke into sobs. But she was killed, just like so many other little girls, never even given a chance to be born. The lucky ones are aborted before they even see the world. The rest? Killed, abandoned, kidnapped. I hate it. I hate it all. Logan wrapped his arms around me, holding me tight and still. I couldn't see his face, but I could feel his heart pounding against mine, fast and unsteady. I wiped my tears. And then I saw him. Julian Sam, drenched in blood, stumbled from behind a car up ahead. Gun raised, aimed directly at Logan. In that split second, I threw all my strength into turning my body and used my back to shield him. The shot fired. I felt a crushing impact against my spine. All strength left my body instantly. No! Logan roared in rage, drawing his gun and firing back. Julian collapsed, dead. Hannah, hold on, baby, just a little more. We're almost at the hospital. Logan sped through the streets like a man possessed. I sat slumped in the passenger seat, every bump jolting me so hard it felt like my bones were breaking apart. I coughed, my voice hoarse and raw. Logan, when I was locked in that dark room, I had a dream. I dreamed my grandma didn't sell me. I grew up peacefully in the Dawson family. My brother, Logan Dawson, met you, and so did I. Every day after school, you'd take us to the park. We had so much fun. Then one day, I married you, and my brother married a gentle, kind woman. We all lived on a small farm, raising fish together. A simple, happy life. Once I recover, can we live that life together? Logan's voice trembled. His long lashes were soaked with tears. I gently touched the gold ring on my left ring finger. Logan, is there really a tracker in this ring? He shook his head, smiling sadly. No, there never was. I lied. Then, can we pretend this ring is your wedding gift to me? Of course. I'm sorry, Hannah. I'm so tired, Logan. I just want to sleep. No, don't sleep. Stay with me. Talk to me. He gently patted my face, panicking. Logan, do you love me? He wiped his tears, slammed the accelerator down. If you don't answer me, I might not have the strength to make it to the hospital. Then I'll answer. I'll tell you everything. Just stay awake, please. I tried to stay conscious, but my body was growing colder by the second. My breaths were shallow, ragged. Light faded in and out. The taste of blood in my mouth grew thicker. My chest felt like it was crushed under a boulder. I coughed hard. A mouthful of blood sprayed across the windshield. The car came to a sudden stop. My body slumped forward. Logan caught me before I fell. I lay there, cradled in his strong arms. "Logan," I whispered, "please, answer me. Do you love me?" With the last bit of strength I had left, I stared into his eyes. He looked straight at me. His voice shook as he said, "I love you. Hannah, I love you." I had never heard his voice so gentle, never seen his eyes so full of emotion, never seen him smile so tenderly. And yet, as he smiled, he cried. Tears fell from his face, hot and stinging as they landed on mine. "In the next life," I said weakly, "I want to be born as your daughter. Will you let me?" After laying Hannah Dawson to rest, Logan went to GS Bank. He opened the vault. Before him were piles of gold bars, gems, and stacks of cash. He sank to the floor, overwhelmed. A lifetime of bloodshed, betrayal, and vengeance. And now he had no strength left to take another step. That's when he noticed something wedged beneath one of the gold bars. A folded piece of paper. He pulled it out. It read, "This is our angel fund. I wanted to use this money." He could imagine the look on her face as she wrote it, eyes full of hope. That innocent, radiant smile. He broke down. Tears flooded his face, uncontrollably. Later, Logan used every cent of that treasure to create the Little Angels Fund. It supported anti-human trafficking efforts across the country. It gave hope to rural girls, girls forced to drop out of school, forced to work, forced to marry too young. It gave them a second chance, a dream to chase. Logan never remarried, but he had many daughters. The girls he helped, the girls he saved. They all called him Daddy Logan, and deep down he believed that one of them was her.